I am getting very, very uncomfortable with the position of very dark man on political issues in Nigeria today. Very uncomfortable, particularly as it concerns Peter Obi. We saw the video where he went to Turkey recently and he was with Tunde Ednut, and Tunde Ednut came out to say Peter Obi for president. And what did very dark man do? VDM came out and said, we're for him, Peter Obi vote for him. He doesn't know, he's neutral, he's not. Is very dark man really neutral? I'm getting uncomfortable with this his style of neutrality. I am beginning to feel that somehow the establishment, Tinubu or the APC are using him against Nigerians. I'm beginning to feel that somehow APC and the Tinubu administration is helping VDM to stay relevant. Because think about it. If Tinubu does well by Nigerians and everything works in Nigeria, who would need VDM? If we have a working police, a working security agency, who would need VDM? So I'm beginning to think that somehow Tinubu is using him to stay relevant. And he is using Tinubu to stay relevant. The two of them is a symbiotic relationship. And he's not neutral. I'm getting uncomfortable and it's becoming dangerous to just stay silent. I had hoped that by now we would have had a VDM on the side of the people. Okay, so let's interrogate his neutrality. When it comes to APC, I don't know if you have observed, he will criticize APC, he will praise APC. Criticize APC, praise APC. Criticize APC, praise APC. To the extent that the sum total, the resultant of what he does to APC is actually zero. You can say, he criticizes APC. Whatever criticism that VDM criticizes APC is cancelled by the praise he praises APC. Just check it. It's been like this. At some point he's criticizing, at some point he's praising. But when it comes to Peter Obi, now constant criticism. And it's not even healthy criticism, destructive criticism. That's not neutrality. You criticize Tinubu like this, then you destroy Peter Obi like this. That's not neutrality. Me, personally, I'm getting uncomfortable with it. Hear what he said in a video. Hear what VDM said in a video. That because Peter Obi did not set Nigeria on fire, that is why he looks at Peter Obi and is disappointed and angry with Peter Obi. Because Peter Obi did not set Nigeria on fire. Because Peter Obi did not lead Nigerian youths to unnecessary death and destruction. That is why VDM is angry. He's not angry that Tinubu is ruining Nigeria. He's not angry that Tinubu has spent 4 years. He promised us 24 hours electricity. He has not done that. VDM is not angry with that. VDM is not angry with the fact that we are in a country where there's so much impunity. So much impunity that military, the Nigerian army with its discipline and candor will breach the constitution of Nigeria and engage in enforced disappearance of a citizen for 72 hours. Instead of getting the military to apologize, what does he do? He says we have to work together. But when it comes to Peter Obi, who tries to maintain peace, Peter Obi is a fighter, make no mistake. If you go through his track record when he was governor of Anambra State, you see he's a fighter. But he does not engage in unnecessary fight. MK Abiola na so na push am. Many people lost their lives. At the end of the day, He lost his life. And this is the democracy that we got for it. Baba Sokpe Krisi. The same thing that happened in the Biafran War. Needless loss of lives and destruction of properties. Even Ojukwu regretted that war and he came out to say it. There's nobody that lost somebody that will not regret that war. And you actively want to push Peter Obi to that. You leave all the critical fact that Peter Obi left money behind. He left money behind. When other politicians are thinking about how to steal, loot everything, if there's no money to loot, they borrow to loot. If there's no money to borrow to loot, what do? They increase taxes so that there will be money to loot. Other leaders are doing that. Peter Obi didn't. He did so much in education, in road infrastructure, in security, in health, in governance, cutting down cost of governance and removing corruption, restored sanity. He came to be governor at a time when governors were being kidnapped by non-state actors in Anambra. He restored sanity. We're not looking at that. Today, the problem of Nigeria is what? Corruption. Everything is linked and tied to corruption. We are shouting insecurity in the north, in the south, kidnapping everywhere, banditry, terrorism. Why do we still have it despite the trillions of naira we have spent on it? Corruption. Because those in charge of fixing the security have turned the insecurity into business. The road infrastructure, horrible. Even the so-called Lagos-Calabar Coastal Railway, we have seen what happens when it rains. It turns into Lagos-Calabar Coastal Seaway. Water flooding everywhere, no drainage for 16 trillion. Corruption. That project was awarded, 16 trillion naira project, awarded without competitive bidding against the Bureau of Public Procurement Act. Normally, Tinubu should have been impeached and prosecuted and should be in jail. But no, all of these are anomalies that are going on that are linked to corruption. Instead of saying, okay, how do we solve it? How do we fix this corruption? Who is the best person to fix and solve corruption? We are talking about, who did not come out to lead protests? Who is changing party? Is that what we should be talking about at the moment? Tinubu unified FX window and unified it up and claimed that, Naira has to find its value, knowing fully well that when you devalue the Naira, it is Nigerians that will suffer. But he did it anyway. When he knows that he could have unified the FX window downwards. Yes, he could have made the black market to come down. What is the black market? The people who are doing the round tripping. Are they spirits? Are they ghosts? You want to tell me the DSS, the police, the EFCC, and all the security agencies, they don't know these people and they don't know what to do to stop the round tripping? They know. They could have stopped the round tripping and unified the FX window downwards so that today, Naira will be 500 Naira to $1. But they didn't do that. They could have taken away the corruption in that arbitrage, round-tripping corruption in our monetary system. But they didn't do that. They could have taken away the corruption in the so-called subsidy regime. They didn't do that. They could have taken the corruption away from our electricity and power generation regime. They didn't do that. Instead, they keep punishing Nigerians with increase here, increase there, without increase in income. People are losing jobs. Those who have jobs, when they get paid, whatever they get paid, it's not enough to take them even to half of the month. And instead of us to look at it and say, okay, since corruption is responsible for so much, Who are those that are linked to the corruption and who are those that are not? Who are those that were able to see the money and leave the money behind? Nobody leaves what they can steal. We are coming to reduce, we are trying to fake neutrality, say we are neutral. What nonsense neutrality? Right now, and it's sad, we have a Jesus and Barabbas situation in Nigeria. We have Jesus on the one hand, the savior of the world, without sin, without blemish. And we have Barabbas on the other hand, the armed robber. But the people chose the armed robber. That is what we have on our hands in Nigeria today. Jesus and Barabbas situation. And it is dangerous. This is why sane Nigerians cannot afford to keep quiet. Right now, it is those who have looted the system that have commandeered our money for themselves. They are the ones now that can pay influencers. They can pay influencers. Have you noticed that there's a sudden rise of influencers that are attacking Peter Obi now ever since he appears to have gotten the ticket? Ever since they failed to make sure Peter Obi does not appear on the ballot. Have you seen the rise? The rise in influencers that are coming out to spew lies, propaganda, distracting from the issues just to paint Peter Obi black. Fellow Nigerians, at this time in the life of Nigeria, if you are a good person, you cannot afford to sit on the sideline. That is why I am uncomfortable with the fact that VDM and other influencers like him, there are so many. Maybe we'll start chronicling them and debunking all of this propaganda one by one. Oh, Peter Obi changed party. Peter Obi changed party. Okay, is it a crime to change party? If he cannot start a new party because the ruling party put machineries in place to make sure that nobody... We wanted to start a new party. Do you know how long we have been on it? Since last year. We met all the criteria. In fact, we are in court with INEC today. INEC failed to register. Not because we did not meet the requirement, but because of the game they were playing. So if Peter Obi tried and he couldn't, and then he decides to go to a party where he can get ticket, why do people join political parties in Nigeria today? Why? Is it not to get tickets to run? If he looks at it and says, oh, I can't get ticket here because majority of the people here are pretending to be asleep, I cannot wake them up. They have been bought over. He should not waste his time to now be trying to convince somebody who knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing is wrong. Abure knew what he's doing was wrong. But he kept doing it anyway. Perhaps because of the alleged monies they have been offered. So you want Peter Obi to waste his time in that kind of environment when he could go to ADC. And when he found ADC, that ADC was also not comfortable, he left. If he has to jump 20 times, it's his prerogative. It's not a crime. Then you leave the bad governance, the maladministration of Nigeria, the satanic and draconian policies of the Tinubu administration, you leave them. Instead of thinking about solutions for those, you are attacking the only possible solution that we could have based on trivialities. At this time, we need to start listing those propaganda and debunking them one by one. But Nigerians, take note. We remain focused. They didn't want us to get ticket, we have ticket. That one is paining them. Next thing is to make sure they cannot rig. So visit votewatch.pro. Sign up as a PU marshal. Let's take it from there. Let's make it impossible for them to rig. Nigerians, real Nigerians know the truth. And what they're trying to do, demarket Peter Obi, assassinate Peter Obi's character. All of this is to discourage Nigerians from coming out. Nigerians, don't listen to them. 2027, let's come out in our numbers. If you have not gotten your PVC, go and get it. CVR, Continuous Voters Register, is still registration is still on. Please go and get it. Let's not give these people what they want to stop Nigeria. I beg. VDM, amend your ways. You cannot claim to be neutral at this critical point in the life of Nigeria. If you are neutral, you are working for APC. And it's obvious. So prove to us that you are for the people by picking the side of the people.